if I'm the on time one, we have a problem because I am never on time, and I don't know where Rev Mel is, but I was asked to come on this show because I talk about all the things that Rev Mel talks about. We have a lot in common. We're both MILFs, although I now hear that she's a GILF, which is even more impressive. And now, I don't know, maybe she was partying for Memorial Day, or she's tied up somewhere. More likely she has someone else tied up. But anyway, she's not here, and I'm really not sure if she wants me to take over the show. If she does, then that's fine. Hi, I'm Susanna Brisk, and this is my show. Oh,
welcome to the Rev Mel Show on tsrnetwork.com, where real people talk about real sex with really kinky people. Going to turn off my phone. Welcome. I'm late. They're having a big party outside.
Yes, I saw that. I didn't know you were a part of it.
Well, I was going to just call her 5 minutes before the show and just cancel and just say I just want a party hardy.
Yeah.
But I felt that would be really bad news.
Because we know what a party animal you are.
Right. So I've been wanting to get her on my show forever. And this is going to be a fun show because we're both wacky whittledoos. So we're going to have that's a strange name.
Grounded.
That's a
wacky, but grounded.
Wacky whittledoos.
Yeah. See, I'm more grounded than that. I'm not going to own the whittledoo label. That's not.
You can be the wacky. I'll be the whittledoo.
I'm not even sure I'm that wacky anymore, honestly. I grew up in Australia. I got called wacky a lot. And I was always like, what the stuff that you guys think is wacky, that's not even the wacky part. Like the really whack part comes behind closed doors. So I don't own that wacky thing.
You got strange words for things in Australia.
They do, yes. I now say they because I've lived here 18 years, so I kind of feel like
and you've lost
it's mine. It's not mine. I'm not really sure. Plus, I'm a Russian Jew, so I never really fit in there.
A Russian Jew in Australia?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, there were like 5 of us.
Wow.
I would have had to marry a cousin.
So you couldn't even do a minion.
Not enough for a minion.
No, not enough for a minion.
That's
it's
right.
like,
are you a Jew?
I'm a fake Jew.
Oh my God! Honorary Jew.
I'm a fake Jew.
Because that's not fake.
Oh no, my daughter calls me a fake Jew. I converted to Judaism many years ago.
You have a Jewish soul, my dear.
I needed more guilt.
Who needs more guilt?
Oh, it is a Jewish soul. It is.
You have a Jewish soul. I know. I sense it.
It is a Jewish soul.
Yes.
Oy vey, oy vey, oy vey, oy vey.
I don't even say oy vey. It's too Jewish.
Well, I converted. I'm a fake one.
Right. So they always need to out-Jew everybody else. It's like, we get it. You took the classes. Okay, you're very Jewish. It's okay. You don't have anything to prove. Always see those people right after they've gone through convert school and they're like, do you want to come over for some challah? And you're just like, okay, you can soften the we get it. We accept you. It's all right.
Well, I wanted to go join the army.
The Israeli army?
Yeah.
Oh, you're a radical.
Oh, and then I decided, no, I don't think that's good.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't.
Maybe I would have met some nice Israeli guy.
Yeah, but
I was
probably
young
would have
then.
broken a nail.
Oh, I've been breaking nails all over the place. Having a barbecue. Happy Memorial Day, everyone. I hope you guys are having an awesome time. And I didn't do a lot of publicity on this today. We just did a few FetLife and a few Twitters and Facebook because I didn't know if I was going to do a show or not. I had this pleasant phone call this afternoon. And she goes, what are you doing? And I says, I'm supposed to be doing a show, but I don't have a guest.
I was like, you do now.
But she, and it was really, I don't have the other phone. It's really funny because she already texted me on the other, the phone that doesn't really work. It's my
backup
Magic Jack phone.
Magic Jack?
Magic Jack. Yeah, it's on my iPhone. I have Magic Jack.
Oh.
And if I have Wi-Fi, I can use it.
Wow.
So it's my Magic Jack
You're
number.
pretty tech savvy for a grandma. I'm going to say that.
Well,
you're pretty a lot of things for a grandma.
I'm a snow leopard, but it's not about me today.
Why not?
It's about you.
I'd rather interview you.
No, I'd rather interview you.
All right. Well, either way, it'll all be fascinating.
No.
Listen, you can dom me, baby. You're one of the few women. This is one of the few women I would let dominate me.
So we were at, I was at the stock room, and there's this beautiful, redheaded, tall, long-legged.
I'll go with that today, but on that day, I had no makeup. I wasn't particularly, but whatever.
Every head turned in the place. All the men were drooling. Literally, all the dominant men that were up on the panel were like, showing their masculinity, whatever, by drooling all over the place.
I like that.
And she walked in, And the first thought that went to my head after I watched all of the men on the panel, including Don Javier, my friend, and Kane, and they watched her walk in and they were drooling, they were staring, and I looked at her and I go, new meat.
Fresh meat, yes. Well, as a stand-up, I started as a stand-up comic when I was 17 in Australia, so I kind of am used to that like fresh meat kind of thing, because in comedy, when you're a woman, it's just like predators immediately. And now that I'm back doing comedy, I have that kind of sense, and I have a very strong like radar for that. So, but you were very kind of motherly and protective, and I really appreciated that very, very much. But I don't think that your memory of it is quite accurate. I mean, I enjoy your dramatic rendition of events, but really I slunk in there with my fucking mommy hair. Can we swear?
Yeah.
And my thing, and I'm like sitting there taking notes, and then suddenly I just had to, I was just moved to speak. And so I, as I always am, and I just put my hand up and asked a question. And then the next 2 hours of the workshop was all them directing the question. So I think that's when the salivating started. It wasn't like I walked in and everybody, I mean, there's a lot of gorgeous women in BDSM. I mean, I was not really.
I see everything.
Yeah, no, I see. I know what you mean.
I
see everything too, just maybe not relating to
I watched
myself.
energy move, and it was moving, and the guys were like, they were like, that's my next slave or submissive.
My next victim.
And that's why when she asked a very bright, wonderful, smart question, and I got up, and after other people answered, and I looked at her, and I says, "You're new meat," and then I told her a few things and handled things. So it was kind of.
You were amazing, and then you actually told me I was young. You said young lady, I think you called me, and I was just so flattered that anyone had called me young. That's all I was happy about. I was like, the lighting must be very good in here. It's all about the lighting as you get older, I think.
Yeah, it's either the lighting or you take that tape and put it behind here, and
right.
No, I don't know how that could be done.
It's the inner glow. Really, it's the inner glow. Yeah, that's what it is, because you have it. So it's not an age thing. It's an inner glow.
I don't know. You should see me in the morning. God forbid.
Yeah, God forbid anybody see anybody in the morning.
Well, it's young men. It's like what Mae West. Keep the young men. You keep them young. You keep young people around you, and it happens.
I say I feast on the blood of young virgins, but then the men I'm with are young, but they're not virgins. But that's kind of my thing. But I don't think that you can't energetically, vampirically suck the life out of somebody. Like there has to be a flaw. I mean, you can, you could if you wanted.
Oh, I know a lot of people that are vampires and they suck the life out of you. I don't do that.
No, I don't do that either.
I don't suck the life out of you.
No, and I feel it immediately if somebody is sucking the life out of me. Away!
You get exhausted.
Get behind me, devil!
Yeah, you're not excited about seeing them. You get exhausted. And when they leave, all you want to do is go to sleep.
Yes, for 3 days. And not in the good way. Not because you've just had so many orgasms that you can't move your body anymore. Because that's not a bad way to fall asleep and then.
So what kind of vibrators do you use?
I have a lot. My favorite is the G-Vibe. I would say that's my favorite toy.
What does it look like?
It's like a two-pronged thing. Mm-hmm. I wrote about it on my site on malibumom.com. I did a week of blogging about toys, and the stockroom I had a whole box of toys in my trunk at one point, and equipment and stuff. And
did they let you keep it?
Yes, I got to keep it because I have a lot of people that read my stuff, and I sold a lot of stuff for them, so it was just mutually beneficial. I love the G-Vibe. It's like it goes right to the G spot. It's and the clit at the same time. It's ridiculous. It's really, really great. And then there's something called the Sakura Iroha, which is more like if you just want to have a little quick clitoral orgasm. Mm-hmm. It's not like it's not like the full Hitachi experience. It's more like that. You're not into that?
I hate the Hitachi.
Yeah, I have to be in the mood. There's like a thing. There's an algorithm.
It's
and
like
for
a jackhammer.
Me, it's very, I mean, I just don't need that. I mean, I am somebody who can think myself to an orgasm, so I really don't need a Hitachi. Most of the time, I really just need a pleasant text.
I don't know who. It's horrible.
And that'll do it.
Can you imagine using that on you every single time you want an orgasm?
Well, I would just imagine that you just never have a normal orgasm with a person again. I mean, you get desensitized. I think that happens.
I mean,
it's
it goes
like,
oh my fucking God.
Yeah. But it's like those guys who jerk off a lot, and then you're with them, and they never have an orgasm, and you're just like, I know it's not me. And because they've just jerked off too much and too hard and to too much porn, and they just get desensitized. That happens to men. And then I say, don't jerk off and then come back to me.
Ooh, maybe you're dominant.
You know, it's a weird thing. I have a very dominant personality, obviously, and I don't want to go into too many details about what I'm specifically into and not into, but I really identify as a switch. That's how I identify. I really do not. I can't imagine. Like I was talking to somebody yesterday who's a dom, a female dom, and she said that when she started to dom, that was it. She had like 5 seconds of a switch window, and then that was it. She was a dom, and she never wanted to sub again. I can't imagine that happening to me, but I couldn't imagine a lot of things when I sat in that room at the stock room that have since happened and that I now want, that I didn't think I wanted, and that I'm now into, that I didn't know I was into. And I'm exploring, I'm negotiating with somebody right now to come and do some errands at my house and do a kind of I don't know, I tend to, like on FetLife, I'm kind of attracting men who want to be dominated, and it's just not, I get a different thrill out of it. It's a different kind of
But you
enjoyment.
get your floors washed.
Yeah, but I don't think that's fair to use somebody because they have a fetish. I don't think that's right. I mean, that's not what I'm in it for. I
So
don't think
you would like a relationship.
Not with the guy who's going to wash my floors. I
Yeah.
can't imagine being interested in that for long term. Right now, I'm in several relationships, at least several. I believe in the rule of three. If you keep a roster, for me, like I'm going to blog about this. I haven't written about it yet, but I believe then you don't get twisted over one person. But what I'm interested in, it's like I'm getting closer to that. I don't have that yet, but I think what's important is that whatever you do, if you're playing or you're having sex, or even if you're, God forbid, monogamous, then you want to be getting closer to what you want, and everything and everyone that you're with should be getting you closer to what you want. If you feel like someone's getting you further away from what you want, it doesn't matter how great the sex is, it doesn't matter how emotional the connection is, it doesn't matter that they spank you in that way you like. For me, that's not gonna, I can't be in that because I'm moving towards something. There's a trajectory.
BDSM is something that's new to you, but you've been educating about sex. I mean, with your website, and tell everybody again what your website
is. It's malibumom.com, and I also have had a lot of experiential experience. I'm an experiential learner. So 2.5 years ago, I got separated from my ex-husband, then husband, and I went on a bit of a trampage. I don't know.
And
if
were
you know
you
what that
completely
is.
monogamous with your husband?
I was yes, I was in a monogamous relationship for 14.5 years, except for that one time. And I told him right afterwards anyway, but I'm so honest, like there's no way I'm going to go and pretend I have like the unblemished record. I have one blemish on my record. Anyway, it's not really that much of a blemish. It was just a weekend, and I remember it fondly.
A weekend of bliss.
Yes, it was. But anyway, that was like 7 years before the marriage ended, and then I've just been on like a big exploration. And look, I was very, dare we say, slutty before I got married. So it's not like I was some, virgin neophyte and whatever. But I was only 23 years old. So who you are at 23. Hopefully you grow alongside the person. And for some people, that monogamous, traditional white dress, 2.1 kids and the dog and the thing and the whatever it is, that might be great for a lot of people. But the statistics and the science is telling us that not only are we not wired for monogamy, but and this very traditional kind of square peg into a round hole lifestyle that we're all being stuffed into, but there's just a lot of lying and cheating and fucking around going on, and
we live longer now.
We live longer, exactly.
I mean, who's going to I got married at 18 or 19, got a divorce at 23, and never looked back, and I could not imagine being married to him until I'm at my age. I would be 750 pounds, and you would have to take me out on a cart.
You would have eaten all your feelings.
It would have been horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
But you know what? My parents have been together for 42 years, and they are obsessed with each other. I mean, they're going to be the classic case. Like as soon as one of them goes, the other one's just going to drop dead immediately, which is, that's a terrible thing to say.
So you have really good role models.
Well, you know what?
I mean,
I have
that-
role models. It's like that's what
But-
works for them, but that doesn't mean that.
But you had a strong influence of your mother and a strong influence of your father in a positive way.
I think that's a very simplistic rendition. And if you'd like to read about my childhood, you can do so in my book. My memoir is called "I'll Be the Death of Me," and you can read the details of growing up as a Russian Jew in Australia and what that entailed. Yes, but the thing is that it's not a one size fits all. Like you have to go after your bliss. You have to go after your lifestyle. And it might be monogamy, it might be, but it might also be something that hasn't even been invented yet. I feel like where I am in my life right now is barely even like an established thing. Like I feel like I'm inventing it as I go along, which is a great feeling. It's exciting. It's a little scary.
Well, you've been in a pressure cooker for so many years, and all of a sudden that pressure is released, and all of a sudden you have the freedom that you have to be able to explore and to be able to become the person that you want to be. And it's really important. This is an amazing time for you.
It is. But the other thing is that I have children, so the pressure cooker never gets released. It's like when they say once you have kids, you never sleep again. You just close your eyes. So even when you're not there, it's not like when they're not there, it's not like I stopped being a mom. So there's that. And that's anchoring and grounding and also somewhat limiting and confining. And then there's also my marriage was happy for a lot of years. So I don't want to mischaracterize that as like, oh, I was so miserable in this blah, 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 whatever. I worshiped my husband for at least 10 years. We worshiped each other. There's boxes of greeting cards of us just like, oh, I love you. You saved my life. You rescued me. Thank you. And then, you know, it just like whatever, 20 million different things happen. And you know, it wasn't what it was before. And he was 15 years older than I am. And that was never a problem until I turned 35 and he turned 50 and he wanted a nap. And I wanted not to nap at all, maybe nap after. So it's the truth is always complicated. And you don't want to be like, oh, you know, wow, like, I feel like when I do comedy, it's like people just want to see me as this like, oh, she's this cougar. First of all, I hate the word cougar.
I hate the word cougar.
We do not like cougar.
No, I like snow leopard for me because I'm older.
Snow leopard is adorable, but
Because
cougar has this predatory quality.
Horrible. I hate the name.
I mean,
cougar.
really, do I have my talons extended and I got to go and pick one off the herd and hunt for whatever? I mean, I don't relate to.
And they're not beautiful cats.
No.
I mean,
I've seen women who are like that though. I've seen them. They're predators and they prey on very young guys and they're desperate. They'll fuck anybody. That's not my thing. I'm very strategic and selective with who I have even any sexual dalliance with. Even my friendships, I have to be so careful because I'm so empathic. I know you know about that. Yes. I won't even shake hands with you if I don't like you. I'll fuck you, but I won't shake hands with you.
I'm just looking to see if people are in the chat room. We've been off for a couple of weeks. I've been off for a couple of weeks. A lot of people don't know that the show's going on, but what's great about this is it's recorded, so it always goes on. So we're just having a good old time. Your energy is so amazing. Really, she walked into the room, you know, she says dressed kind of, you know, just, you know, slumpy, but she didn't look slumpy. And she had great energy. Yeah, you are. And then she was on Between the Sheets. She got me and Sir Nick on it.
Yes, and I got spanked by Sir Nick. By the way, I had an erotic dream about Sir Nick the other day. I texted him. He did not return my text. So if you're watching this,
text me. Do you owe him $50?
No, the dream was I had an actual full-on sexual dream about him.
Oh, you owe him $50?
Why?
Because you owe him $50. When you dream about somebody and it's sexual, you got to give them $50.
Well, first of all, I would be dead stone broke if that was the case. Because that's all I do is dream about fucking. I don't have very creative dreams. It's almost all fucking. So there's that, firstly. And secondly, like, it was such a weird thing. Like, I understand what the dream is about because obviously it's that I'm just dying to have like this really full-on dominant, you know, man in my life. And so I don't think it was about him specifically. I'm not specifically going to be
I know.
calling him.
I see you with the guy from 50 Shades. Someone that has class.
I do like the young. I like the young doms. I like that. I
Yeah.
can't. Older men kind of repulse me now. And I was into, and that's no offense. I don't want to be offensive because I know if somebody went on a show, even if they were a comedian, was like, "Oh, old bitches are so ugly," I'd just be like, "That motherfucker! How dare he? How dare he? Women wear, you know." But so it's like sort of reversed
But
because
young men smell good.
it's not about this. Yes, the smell is good. Older men can smell good too. It's not about that. It's a whole energetic thing.
Yeah.
I can't do the baggage. I can't do it. Ugh. I can't do the emotionally unavailable. Ugh.
But what's really amazing about that is that's what older men say about women that are their age. That's why they go out with younger women.
Yeah, but that's because women have had to put up with their bullshit for so long. I mean, who's not angry and bitter? I mean, I'm not, but that's because I fight it.
Yeah.
And I work on it and I work on myself. And every day I let it go. And I don't really have anything to be bitter about. You know, I don't. But, you know, I have my share of emotional issues, but being angry at men is not one of them.
Yeah.
And that is not a good color.
Yeah.
Ladies, let it go. Seriously.
Yep.
Let it go. Because they're not going to fuck the younger women as much. I agree with you with that. But then the younger women, it's like, daddy. Like they'll just do, it's just, you know, the younger women also need to get a clue.
Yeah, and women of my age, I mean, we're totally different ages of her and I. A lot of women my age, they don't take responsibility that they pick those men to be in their lives.
Well, exactly.
There's something about that person that makes you want them. And I don't know, it's the bad boy thing. I love beautiful, gorgeous bad boys.
Yeah, I'm not into the bad boy thing.
Oh.
I don't have that. I'm not. I mean, I can't remember the last time I was into that was maybe in, maybe that was my thing in my early 20s. But the bad boy thing is actually a huge turnoff for me.
You've met some bad boys from the club.
Yeah, but they
were bad boys.
Yeah,
they were bad boys.
Yeah, but that's not really. It's just not my thing.
So, what's the definition of a bad boy to you?
Well, to me, a bad boy is somebody who's probably some kind of an addict and alcoholic who's still using.
That's not my bad boy. That's not my bad boy.
Well, you're talking about the leather jacket, the motorcycle.
No, that's not my bad boy.
So you're just talking about someone kinky? Then every single person in this, every guy in the scene's
I'm talking
a bad
about
boy.
such a good-looking man that he can walk into a bank, go to the teller, and then go out to lunch with her and fuck her.
Yeah, that's not my thing.
Bad boy.
That's absolutely not my thing. Because I'm that girl.
You're a bad
I don't want a guy like that. I don't want a guy who can fuck anyone. I actually mostly go for guys who are either, because I don't think women okay. So here's my thing. I think women are out to lunch. Like there have been so many times where I was lying next to a guy after we fucked and I'm lying there and I just go, women are so stupid. Because I know that the guy that I'm with, for whatever reason, and again, we're in Los Angeles, California here, so these men have a lot of choices and the women have a lot of choices. And it's insane here with the pretty people and the beautiful people.
Oh, it is insane.
It's insanity. But I think that women genuinely do not understand what they're looking at. Like I've been with men who are just so incredible in the sack and are so fucking hot and so good at it and so sweet and so available, at least for the time you're with them. And they can't get laid. They cannot get laid. That's more my thing. I can't be with that guy who can fuck every girl in the bank. Then it makes me feel not special.
Yeah, I dated someone that was 6'8", looked just like Rock Hudson for 18 years. He was the most beautiful man that I've ever laid eyes on. And he could go into a bank, and if he wanted to, he would be fucking that girl at lunch.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he had a woman in every single port. But I was with him for 18 years. And he was a bad boy.
Yeah, that's a bad boy.
He
I'm not into that. I don't know. Like
he was beautiful. I mean, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely fucked those guys, but those aren't. When I say I'm not into them, it doesn't mean I haven't slept with them sometimes. But it's just not like, you know how everyone has like that's your thing or whatever.
Yeah, what is your turn on?
I have a lot. I have like, look on FetLife. Everyone has like 150 things and they're so specific. It's like, I want to play chess, but we have to be naked and it has to be with our toes. Like, so there's so many. I mean, look at this thing, this splooshing,
Oh,
this
it's
thing.
splashing with food.
Yeah, splashing with food. Like, who would think of that? I mean, I just love that we have the internet and we can all just be us and we can indulge in our weird SpongeBob fetish or whatever your thing is. And so like everybody else, I have a lot of different things, but it's interesting because I think that there's a difference between having a thing and having a fetish. Because, for example, I date black men. I don't exclusively date black men, but black men are not a fetish for me. Like I was trying to explain to this guy I'm seeing, I was like, it's not a fetish. It's not, I don't fetishize him. I don't fetishize the skin. I love his skin and it's very beautiful to me. And I love the way he looks and I love the way he talks. And, but I don't fetishize it. There's a difference. Well, we don't have to discuss that here.
Big cock.
I'm not such a size queen either. That's the other thing. No, really not. But this is the thing as well about that there's women who prefer a big fat cock and a woman who has a fetish for big dicks. Yeah. Where a smaller or even an average penis, average, depending on where you look and who you're getting your statistics from and what country you're in.
Tuna can
cock. Coke can dick.
Horrible.
Right.
Horrible.
Well, I'm not going to say horrible.
The tuna can is horrible.
I'm going to say I get scared.
Oh my God.
Sometimes I get scared. I go, does anyone ever run out of the room?
No, they bring lube with them.
Right. Well, as slutty as I am, I don't travel with lube.
Oh no, you don't.
Maybe
they do.
Change. Oh right, yeah, they should. But it's very different to a woman who's like, oh, I cannot be with a guy with a small. Like it has to be big. It has to be. Like I was talking to this woman the other day. She's like, it's got to be, otherwise I can't feel it. And it's like, yes, you can feel it. It's no way. I mean, yes, she's had kids or whatever, but there's no way she's got some kind of huge cavernous vagina. It's a fetish. It's a fetish for her. It equates with masculinity. It equates with something for her. It probably happened earlier in her life. There's an equation happening there.
Tall men's my fetish. I don't like short men.
Tall is for me like almost non-negotiable. They have to be tall because I'm very tall.
Yeah.
I don't understand why the short girls need the tall guys. Please leave them for the tall girls, okay?
No. It's nice having.
It's a protector thing.
Yeah, it's like, you don't have to get on your knees.
Wow. Wait, what height are you?
I'm short. I don't know. I used to lie. I used to say I was 5'4", but the doctors have quite disputed that.
It's all right.
And all the men I've been with have been above 6'2".
Yeah.
6'8". That's a good size for me. 6'7". 6'5" is good for me.
Oh, that's so hot.
Oh yeah.
But that's my thing. That's not a fetish. That's a thing. Oh, you're a spinner.
No,
that's right. You're a spinner.
No.
High five knowing what a spinner is.
No, I'm not a spinner. I'm too chubby to be a spinner. I'm a flopper.
You're an acrobat is what you are.
Oh, I used to be.
Well, you could be again. You never know your luck.
Well, those really tall guys, it's really interesting. If you fuck them in the car with a moonroof, one of those things that go by, and your head goes whoop, whoop.
I thought of it the other way. See, that's how you know that I'm not the dominant, because I thought about if you're in the car and the feet can go on the thing, because I have such long legs, like I always have to be like crammed into tiny little.
No, and I'm on top going woo.
Yes, it wouldn't even occur to me.
In a parking lot at the Brentwood, an Italian restaurant where people are walking around. It was really a lot of fun.
I think I know that restaurant.
Oh yeah, awesome restaurant. Yeah, it's awesome place.
Is that a fetish of yours? Public sex in public?
I like public sex. Yeah, I mean we've done some crazy things,
I bet.
But I think we all have. I mean, remember something? I came from a period of time where you could have sex without the fear of AIDS. You could have, sex without the fear of herpes.
You know what I said to someone today, though? I'm not afraid of AIDS. Like, I don't care. Who cares about AIDS? It's like, I don't want to not be able to fuck. Like, that's what I care about. It's like, if I'm dead, well, I'm dead. But if something puts me out of commission, I'm much more scared of those things.
Well, I would have somebody wear a condominium, and before we'd have sex, we would go get tested. I believe in that.
Yeah, but it's just funny when you talk about it, like people are like, Oh yeah, AIDS. I'm like, who cares? Is AIDS still a thing? I mean, it's just I'm being flip, obviously. I'm being flip. I'm just saying for me personally, it's not when I put on a condom, I'm not thinking about AIDS. I'm thinking about the herp or something else.
Yeah, herpes or Hep C.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm not thinking about AIDS.
Yeah,
I'm
herpes
just
or
saying,
you know.
death is not the worst thing.
Well, they've also, people are living
But
longer.
a lot of people live with it for a long time.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I just remember, like, because you say I come from a time, okay? Because I remember in the 80s when it was all about AIDS, like everything, like you know, that was right when I started having sex. Was like it was AIDS. It was real.
70s was hot.
Yeah, and I bet.
Yeah, I walked into a bar. There was 5 guys sitting out the bar that I fucked or did one night stands. I looked in there. I go, you know what? I think I'm doing something wrong or right. All depends. So yeah.
I think I wrote something for a website once about you might be a sex addict if, and it was all flippant because everything I say and write is flippant. Don't take me verbatim with everything I say. Although I am genuinely a sexual intuitive and I genuinely can offer that service because I have an uncanny ability to be able to look at people and intuit either what's in the way of their great sex or what's going on in their relationship or what's going on in their sensual relationship with themselves. It's just like it channels. So you can take me seriously about that. But in terms of the, don't be too literal with me is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Now that we've got that figured out. Come on, we're Jews. Oh, shut up. Look, we're both Jews. We're going to overthink everything.
And we both have a, very comedic way of looking at things. I
Yes.
think life is very, very much fun if you allow it to happen.
Right.
Having a sense of humor
Wait.
is important.
Yes. But this is what I was going to say. I forgot what I was going to say. Is that I really, really should have had more caffeine, but it's okay. We'll make do with what we have. Is that that you may be a sex.
My green tea.
No, you may. Thank you though. You may be a sex addict if you had to leave a suburb and move somewhere else because you'd fucked too many people, or you had to leave a whole country.
Oh,
because you felt like you'd fucked everybody. And
because you're shut up.
But I don't identify as a sex addict. I just put that as like a flip thing. That's why I set up that. I preface that saying that I'm being flip. But when some people through their filter might think that if you walked into a bar and saw 5 people that you fucked, that might mean you have a problem. I do not see that as a problem.
I had freedom. It was freedom.
But the freedom is that you don't have any shame. Because there's a lot of women. Okay, I'm going to speak specifically about women because I don't have a male brain. Sometimes I think a bit male, but I know that a lot of women can't even deal with seeing one guy. Like there's one, oh my God, my ex is over there. They can't handle.
Oh, I know.
There's like a shame factor. And you and I are very fortunate that we don't have that. Or that if it was, they tried to instill it in us, but we were like, nope. La 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 la, not listening.
I'm friends with all my exes. I was friends with my ex-husband. He's been my best friend since we met when I was 18 years old.
Is this 6'8" Rock Hudson?
No. We're still friends. I don't know. We're not friends anymore. He didn't show up for my daughter's wedding, so just saying it.
Yeah.
That's really important.
That's a bit of a deal breaker.
Yeah, that's a deal breaker. You don't show up for a young lady that you've known since she was 8 years old. Fuck you.
Why do you think he didn't show up?
Because he didn't want to tell his new significant girlfriend about me. And I says, this is ridiculous. You and I are not having sex anymore. We're not involved anymore. I am your past. I'm not your future. I'm not your present. You get your butt to the wedding. Bring her with you. You are both welcome. Let's have a good time.
What's wrong with people?
Because people,
What is that?
Because they're in shame.
Right. That is shame. That is absolutely shame.
Yeah, he's in shame. And you know what? I'm proud of what I did with him. I'm proud of our relationship. It was a hot, sexy, sensual. I'll tell you something. It still makes me sizzle.
I bet.
Again, I can still reflect on those memories and still use my vibrator that I bought in 1967. And,
Do the lights flicker when you use it?
Oh, no, it blew up.
Listen, you need to have sex. You can't just have a vibrator.
Soot
You've got to
all
have
over
sex.
the place. And then I got up and fixed it.
You nearly singed your pussy with that thing?
Yeah, it blew up.
Don't.
And then I went in the
Sweetie,
kitchen.
go get a fucking,
And-
you know what? At the very least, somebody, for who you are and what you've given to this community, somebody needs to send you some free shit, some free sex toys. That's ridiculous.
I know,
Stock room. Pony up.
I'm going to be teaching there on the 13th at the stock room.
I'm all over that.
Yeah.
That
So-
would be amazing. And I'm going to be at the Comedy Store in the main room on June 17th.
Woo!
So there's that. You should all come to that. That's at 8 p.m., I think, on the 17th. And other than that,
It's hard to get to the main room. I'm
yeah, I
talking
had to
about as a
suck a lot of
comedian.
dicks. A lot of dicks.
Especially the ghosts.
Listen, if it
the
were
ghosts.
that,
The ghosts there, you
oh
had
my
to
God,
suck all the
I think I
ghosts.
got raped by a ghost there last night.
Yeah, the ghosts.
Something happened in that hallway. That place is crazy. The Comedy Store is fucking crazy.
Love the
They used to
Comedy
do abortions upstairs
In
when
the
it was
belly room?
Ciro's in the belly room.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I just found that out. I know I performed there last night. I never go into the belly room without thinking
That's
about
why I
it.
hear, sorry.
Yeah, dead babies.
Oh
I know,
my
it's so
God.
creepy. It's really creepy.
dead babies.
Yes, I know that place is dark.
Yeah,
But I
it
don't know.
is.
I like it. I feel at home.
I performed once up there.
It's fun.
And I was nervous. You know what? I want to get back into stand-up, but I was really bad at it. And then I started doing it again. And then I got into all this other stuff that I had to do. And it just, on my little road trip, I might hit some comedy clubs and do some open mics.
You totally should.
Yeah,
You totally
yeah.
should. But first, you should get fucked. Or fuck someone. Sorry, I forget who I'm talking to.
Oh, God.
You need to do a little bouncing
Oh,
up
no,
and
I
down through
can-
the moonroof.
If you're watching the show and you're not in the chat room, please go to tsrnetwork.com and come on in.
Yeah,
because-
seriously, because we'll answer whatever questions you have. We will tell you literally anything you want to know because that's how we roll.
Yes, and I've been off a couple weeks. You know that. I've been
Yeah.
off. I took some time off, and I wasn't going to do a show tonight, but I did not want to miss this interview because I think that this was so important.
I'm so grateful. So you
Yeah.
like the word MILF though? How do you feel about the word MILF?
I'm a grandmother. You'd love
Now
to
you're a
fuck.
gilf, right?
Yeah, but gilf.
But you like it.
I don't care.
You don't mind about that.
I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't
you'd
like
be
cougar.
amazed.
I don't like cougar.
Yeah, I know.
I've
me
never
too.
liked
That's so
cougar.
funny.
Cougar reminds me of. This is what it reminds me of: a bunch of Beverly Hills women
Yeah,
with their stretched faces.
right.
They're little skinny little bodies because they're all anorexic.
Yes.
Who can't stand fucking their husbands.
Yeah.
And all they want to do is just get fucked, and they don't care who and what and what. And,
Yes.
You know.
I agree. It's too transactional. I
Yeah.
mean, look, it's pretty transactional when you've got a guy in his 20s anyway, which is almost exclusively who I date. There is a transactional kind of element to it because.
Well, that's a good age for you, though. 20.
Yeah, but that's a fetish.
I don't know. I've got.
No, but super young, like when you're talking, like one time by accident, I found out he was 20. Like that's, I'm 41.
But did he look 20?
I don't know, he just looked good. But look, but that to me, like that's a fetish. Like my thing for young guys is a very specific, because I see them and I realize I'm not seeing them, I'm fetishizing them.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
So you
different
get horny
thing.
by them.
Yeah,
you start your clit starts
it gets
to
my
tingle.
it gets my motor
Your
running.
libido
But I mean,
starts to go a little crazy.
there's nothing that
You get a
starts.
twinge.
No, that's
You
constant.
start to get wet.
Constant. Get like that when the wind blows.
I don't know. When you get 63, it kind of dries up.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Lots of lube.
I don't want to talk about that as my future because that's fucking terrifying. Although that might be a bit of a relief.
No,
I don't
not
know.
everybody goes through that. Not everybody.
Well,
Some
no,
women do.
listen, it just because that happens though, the sex doesn't have to get bad. I'm sure you've had incredible sex in your 50s and 60s and beyond.
Yeah, I dated someone that was I think he was 36
Mhm.
4 years ago.
Mhm.
And my daughter goes, "What does he want with an old woman?" And I says, "Great sex."
That's right. That's
she
right.
had a fit.
So it gets better. Well, that's not her
Yeah.
business.
And he called
Sorry.
me the other day.
God
Thank
bless
you.
me. Excuse me. There's
He's
a lot of
probably watching.
allergens in this apartment. Is there
Oh.
cats here?
No, but my daughter's dogs are just their dog food. You see their dogs.
Yes, I see the food and the hair and
Yeah, the dog.
there's a lot of DNA around here.
No, my daughter's dogs were here for 8 days.
Dander.
Yeah,
I'm
8
breathing it
days.
in.
Yeah, 8 days of dogs.
It's okay. So, but the whole thing about, again, the difference between just a preference and a fetish. See, like this is another theory I have. is that the redhead thing, that's a fetish.
Yeah,
Like,
it is.
Yeah, it's not the same. And I can always tell.
See, I think gray now is a fetish too.
Gray's a fetish too.
Gray's a fetish.
And
yeah.
people have a thing, and you can
Boobs.
tell
Boobs are fetishes.
that's a fetish for
Mine
some
are-
people,
mine are
but
real.
for some people, that's a preference.
Real boobs. If you have a fetish for real boobs, I've got them.
I mean, you're in possession of a pair.
Oh yeah, but when I take off the bra, they go to my knees and they're boxing.
Joan Rivers had a great joke about that, but I can't, God rest her soul, but I can't remember what it was. It was I'm so bad at remembering other people's material. It was about being able to get a pedicure and do something at the same time. Damn it.
She was clever.
Should have studied.
She was absolutely.
I didn't do my
clever.
homework. Listen, you keep going into that room. It's like a little bit like.
Well, it's because where are you guys off?
I don't need the validation.
Okay, good. Then I will leave this alone.
I self-validate. Yeah, but I also I understand what you mean, because you don't want to kick in their abandonment issues either. If there's some like poor guy on there like with one hand and
Well,
the other hand
I
on
should
his
I
iPad.
should run over and see exactly how many. I can't. When I don't have somebody running the board, that's the reason why she started the show, and she'll end the show too. I don't know how many people are watching. I can't go over and see
Do
it.
you want to toddle over there and I'll just keep talking to
No,
you?
No,
No?
I'm having a blast.
There's
with
something
you.
about this camera that makes me want to be a webcam girl, though. It's a super cute camera. And I've thought about it. I've thought about like all elements of what I could do to kind of take advantage of my lack of sexual inhibitions. But I'm not going to go with, I'm
Yeah,
not going to go with sex work. I'm not going to
No,
go with that. But I am a sexual intuitive, and I am available for that. So if you go to malibumom.com, you can contact me for that. And that is something that I do, and then books and all comedy and all that stuff. But
you could do a fetish of,
but this webcam, because I am an exhibitionist, that is a thing, makes me want to be an exhibitionist. But I'm not going to do that.
oh my God, I'm creating the monster.
Yeah, no, the monster's already created. Trust me. At 7 years old, I was like this already. But no, I just had that thought, because if you were going to walk over there, my immediate thing is to get very.
And you can see yourself over there.
I know. I've glanced a couple of times. There she is.
I used to have it there if I could watch it, and I could go like this and hide my neck or do what I wanted to do, But then I got so I always looking over there, and that's rude to do. Even looking at the chat room is rude to do. But I just wanted to make sure that there was no questions. And if you're watching the show, please come to tsrnetwork.com, go into live shows, go into the chat room, and do a shout out. Everybody's. They're all
drunk.
They're all drunk, and they're all having a barbecue.
Yes.
But this is good, because you know what? Tomorrow morning when they wake up, they'll see the posting.
It's going to be here.
And then everybody will go, they got,
Yeah.
So
and then they could totally tweet us and all that.
How old were you when you lost your virginity?
It's funny. I don't like that term, lost your virginity, because I don't think you actually lose something. But
you and Midori,
it's like, he took it.
Midori says the same thing, which is awesome.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Midori. She gave me.
Is she a dom?
She's a female dom.
Yeah, that's
she
what
does
I thought.
rope. She's a teacher educator.
Right.
And I interviewed her, and she goes, "I did not lose my virginity. I set it up." And then she told me the whole story.
Oh yeah, me too. Totally.
Did you do that too?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So you found someone that you wanted to have sex with and lose, and give your or
express
your virginity?
Oh, it was completely all premeditated. I mean, everybody I'm with, I'm like that.
Yeah.
I mean, even if I'm submitting, I'm kind of topping you.
You'd make a good bottom. You ever thought about that? It's not a submissive, not a slave, but a bottom, because bottoms they're a little more aggressive. They're a little more outspoken. They're there just for that thrill of that scene, and then they just want to carry on and do what they do during the day and do whatever they want to do.
I thought that was me when I was sitting in that room, and it turns out that what I want is more than that. What I want is more, much more involved than that.
What do you want?
Oh, I know what I want, but I won't be sharing that here. But the person who I shared my virginity with, who also told me that he was losing his virginity, it turned out he was full of shit, which is also in the book. And you know what else is that I found out, unfortunately, that person died 6 years ago. He was an amazing guy. But as I was writing about him in my book, I knew that he was gone. I just knew it. And I just found out on Facebook literally a few weeks ago that he died. But yeah, he was amazing. He sent me a love letter, and then he spooged on it. Because, guys, this is before the internet, so we didn't have the technology. Now he would be the guy that would send the girl a dick pic, because obviously he already had that in him. So he was that in training. But as it was, that was his version of 15-year-old romance. And yes, I was 15 years old too. We were both 15 years old. And that was the closest thing that he could think of to romance, was spooging on a letter and declaring his love for me. And I think I still have that letter somewhere.
Oh my God, you still have his DNA.
I do. I could clone him.
You could
He
clone
was
him.
so hot. Oh my fucking God. They used to call him the Donk.
The donk?
Yeah. And I only found out later it stood for donkey, like donkey cock. And that was the first guy
So
I was ever with.
So you got deflowered by a donkey cock?
I did. But you know what? It's like if you're excited, it doesn't really matter. It's like either way about anything about to do with size. Like I wish guys would be less focused on that, and women, I mean, women, it's okay if that's your thing, then that's fine. Go out and get railed by a gigantic, the world's biggest cock. Go get a cock the size of the fucking Empire State Building and ride on that shit.
So what was the smallest cock that you've ever?
I was with one guy who had a
Experience it.
total micro penis, but he fucking went down on me like a champ. I mean, it was fantastic. And he was also the shortest guy I've ever been with. He was very short. You know, a lot of people are short next to me, but he was really also short next to anyone. And he was an actor, and he just went back to my apartment. I was 19 years old, and he, oh my God, he was so good at giving head. He was really great at it, and because he had to compensate. So sometimes that's a thing, you know?
Yeah, I met someone from China, and he had the littlest pee-pee I've ever seen.
Right.
I mean, this man was doing they were working on the oil rigging up in China and the port. They're doing the new port that China, Saudi Arabia, United States, and Canada all worked on together.
Mm-hmm.
And he drove around in a Rolls Royce. I mean, he was here investing all this money from
What
China.
you meet him?
A friend of mine was going to a swing club and says, Mel, you mind being his date there? And I said, sure. So the next time I saw him, he went out and bought me a watch with diamonds in it. I mean, he was.
But more importantly, he went down on you really well.
Well,
I prefer that to a watch with diamonds.
He had a little teeny pee-pee, little teeny one.
But he was good at giving head.
He was good at giving head. He was good at doing what he was good at using his little teeny pee-pee.
Oh,
And he was very handsome.
really?
Perfect. I mean, and he was taller than the most. He was about 5'11".
Yeah, I'm into I can do Eurasian.
Yeah, he
I'm
was
straight Asian, not so much.
he was
my
straight
thing.
Asian, and he was gorgeous, and he spoke absolutely fabulous English. He was wonderful, and then he met my daughter and hit on her, and my daughter told him to go fuck himself.
Ah,
And then one day she finally told me after he stopped seeing me. I didn't know, and I said, I'm glad you told me. She literally said, go fuck yourself, which is great. I loved it.
it's a fascinating thing because my kids are right now very young, but I do think about, as well, because I date young. I think you have to have a code, like I've written about it in my blog. Is that MalibuMom.com? Is that
MalibuMom.com.
and my Instagram is the MILF code. And that's my podcast as well. And that's what I think about and talk about and write about and I'm obsessed about, because I think if you're going to unleash the Kundalini wild sexual energy on the world, you have to have a framework. You have to have a way to do things. And one of the things is you don't hit on the children of the people you're dating.
No, you don't. You don't.
And you don't hit on your friends' children. I mean, my kids.
And you don't hit on your girlfriends, boyfriends, or husbands.
No.
Or exes.
Never. And
Never.
anyone. I do not. If a guy's in a relationship, done. Especially married. You're dead. I don't even see you anymore.
Yep.
It's like I'm not going to do that to another woman. I'm not going to have that karma. I haven't done that in 25 years.
Have you ever had a boyfriend or a husband of a girlfriend hit on you?
Oh my God, it's not even, it happens all the time.
Yep.
And it's not even about necessarily they're hitting on you, but they're putting feelers out. They put the feelers, and it's like, dude, I know what you're doing. I get it. And I'm sorry your wife is not fucking you, but that's not my problem. Like, please find someone else to engage in this with you, because it's not going to happen.
I had a next door neighbor who knocked on my door. and said, "Aren't you lonely?" I says, "Go fuck yourself. Go back to your wife. What do you think I am? You think I'm your personal whore because I live next door to you? Are
Yeah.
you fucking crazy?"
That'd be a fun fantasy though to role play. What do you think? I'm your whore? Yeah, you're my whore. Come here. You know,
You're
if,
my whore.
I mean, if you were
You
into
slut.
it. No, it's not my thing when a woman says it's not the same.
Oh, that's
I mean,
right,
I'm bi, but it's still not hot.
She wouldn't let me spank her.
Nah, I can't.
But, you know, I respected that. I held her.
Yeah, that was lovely.
That was fun.
I played like that the other day too. I'm not going to get too specific, but I played, and I had the female element and the male element, and I do really like that. And I mean, because I need so much, really.
You need so much?
I need a lot to feel safe, as you know, a lot of subs do, and a lot of people do, and a lot of women do. But particularly when you're talking about BDSM, I mean, I need that female energy is like very, very nurturing and wonderful for me if it's the right kind.
I'm going to sneeze. It's the dog.
I know. I sneezed already.
Choo!
You sneeze like a cat.
It's control. I'm such a control bitch. You know, but don't
Let it out!
No! You know, you may pass air, you may get it all over the place. You know, it's
It's the most adorable, ladylike kitty sneeze. Very cute.
Press it in.
Very, very cute. So that you got my virginity story out of me. That was good.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I see myself as somebody who's a very self-actualized, very powerful human being. And I see myself as someone who's getting increasingly more emotionally stable, because it's been an issue. And what happened is that my ex-husband was kind of like my framework. He was like my vessel. And now I'm learning how to be my own vessel. And it's very, very difficult. It's still super difficult. And I'm very emo, which is partly why I love the BDSM people, is that, everybody's super emo, really open-minded, very intelligent, very capable of making their own decisions. They're, you're not just following because the lamestream media told you what to think and what to do. And I love that. I feel like I found my people.
Well, you've had a lot of choice. I mean, you've had a lot of changes in this past year. I mean, you've moved into your own place. You've a lot of changes going on. When I met you, you were looking for an apartment, looking for a place.
Yeah.
And so many things have changed for
It's
you.
a huge thing, because I chose to cohabitate with my ex-husband for the sake of the kids and everything, and for a lot of reasons. And it worked for the amount of time it worked. It sort of stopped working probably 6 months before I moved, but it was, I don't have any regrets about it. And I also used to be medicated. I used to take antidepressants. And I talk about it on stage, like all the different drugs that I've been on, and psychotropic drugs, which are still drugs. And that was 15 months ago. I detoxed off all meds.
Wow.
So that's the biggest change, is because when you're very emo and you're a woman, and probably when you're a man too, but again, that's not my experience. I'm going to stay in my lane.
I haven't been a man for a long time.
I would never believe that. You're very female.
I haven't been a man in a long time.
You have a very female power.
And we've got about 6 more minutes to go.
Shit.
Do you see how fast this goes?
I know.
This goes like forever.
I know. It's the same as like a BDSM scene. It's like the time warps. But anyway, that's the big thing, is that they give you the medication because you're so fucking emotional, and they're just like, oh,
But they just want to medicate you. They don't really want to get down to the bottom
it's a very complicated issue that
Yeah.
I would not presume to know, and I certainly would never tell anybody to take meds or not take meds, and I still, I have a tremendously hard time with how emotional I am, and but I think that there is a societal pressure, because you have to eat, that like, well, whatever gets you to put those pant legs on and go out to work and keep the economy going, there's a thing about that.
Yeah.
And even on a personal level, people get tired of suffering, because I suffered for so many years, and then it was like, oh, the meds, they're the answer, and then it's like, no, actually, no, they're not the answer at all.
They flatten you out.
Well, I mean, I can't say I was flat because I was still emotional, but it's
Mhm.
just
How did it affect your creativity?
look, I've made a lot of stuff. I have a body of work. I'm proud of what I've done. It's not like when I was on meds I couldn't create or anything like that. But it's just not my solution, unfortunately, because I don't have I think when someone's, for example, bipolar, like then it becomes a lot more clear, like, well, you can't really fuck with like mania with psychotic features. Like you can't fuck with that. You can't be like, oh, I'm not sure I'm really into the meds. Because at that point, like you're, a danger to yourself and others and all. So it's so complicated. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I don't want to
It
fucking
is
wade in.
very complicated.
Like, I don't
So,
want to wade
any
in. But I'm
regrets?
just saying, for me, in the last 14 months, that is the biggest change.
Yeah.
Like, yes, 2.5 years ago the marriage ended, but the biggest change of anything is not being on medication
Yeah.
anymore, and then having to find, like, what the fuck, like, how am I, well then, okay, then what is going to work if that's not?
Yeah. Any regrets?
In life generally, I mean, is it too late to have an abortion?
Yeah, they're about growing.
That's so evil.
They're growing.
Listen, guys, you have to understand. I'm being ironic, obviously. And that's why my children
that
should
song,
never
Ironic?
see my cup. I don't know that one. Oh, the Alanis Morissette one?
Yeah.
Yeah, she needs to look up that definition. Although she is fabulous. I saw her at a Korean spa once. Great tits. But anyway, I don't really believe in regret because I think that I am such a pessimist that I literally feel like whatever I would have done, it still would have been shit. That's why I don't have regrets. I just realized that right at this moment, because it's like whatever you do, it's all going to be shit. It's all going to be what you make it. So,
any advice for people?
I'm an intuitive. I'm not an advice giver. Do not ask me for advice, but I will give you I have a lot of empathic intuition with people, and I would just pray that all of this stuff, like, this, it's like when you're an empath and then you've been given a little bit extra than other people in the personality department. For me, all I hope and pray is that is of service to the world in some way. It's of service to the universe in some way. It's of service to my children in some way. Otherwise, what's the point? Why would you make a creature like me if I couldn't, in some way, use my gifts to and my non-gifts to illuminate the way for people? So yeah, but just don't ask me for advice.
Yeah, people always ask me for advice. I'm really good at giving advice, but as an empath and as someone that does channeling and the spirit guides, I'm not schizophrenic at all whatsoever. It's starting to, we talked about it earlier about being in 3 different worlds.
Yes.
This is, it's changing every day.
It's very, very difficult to, first of all, living a double life, which is not for everybody. And I talked about this in the context of marriage, where I always say, why couldn't I just lie and cheat like everybody else? But I'm not capable of that.
You're not wired that way.
I'm not wired that way. So in the same way, I hope that while there are things that are private and there are things that are appropriate for some venues and not for others, note to self, if you plan to put a woman on a leash and walk her through a shopping mall, think about the time and place of that. Just think about it. And you will not meet a more liberal person than me. And I still say,
it was in Staten Island.
Is it necessary? It doesn't matter if it was in Staten Island or Shanghai or Soviet Russia 20 years ago. It's too loaded. No, it's not. That's not right. So anyway, tangent.
For the people that don't know about that, I put a thing up on Fat Life about that whole thing about the collar and her on the floor going bark, 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 and give me a fucking break,
So there's a time and place, but despite those things, I aim to be the same person across all areas. So that doesn't mean, obviously, that when I'm with my 9 and 10, soon to be 10 and 11-year-old boy children, that I'm going to talk to them about my sex life or anything remotely associated with my sexuality, for example. but I'm still essentially authentically the same person. And if they ask me something that they needed to know at some point, I would share what was appropriate, right?
Yeah.
And the same thing with, and to be that person on stage, and to be that person with the fucking PTA moms and with the whatever, because I can't do it any other way.
Yeah.
If I'm not on medication, it's got to be authentic, all of it.
So you've discovered your true authentic self, or you're in the process of doing it.
Come on, discovered really as like a past thing? Well, if I'm done, fuck, I'm gonna fucking ram into a tree right now. I'm done. My karma's complete.
No, because it's your true authentic self. A lot of times you're not your true authentic self because people are too busy pleasing other people, or they're in situations where they can't be their true self. But when you have the freedom to be able to be your true authentic self, that's where your creativity comes. That's where your passion comes out. And that's where you're able to flower and become this amazing person for yourself.
Here's the thing though. I'm going to tell you something. Ready? It's going to crack that shit wide open. Are you ready? The hardest time I have being my authentic self is alone in my own apartment.
Mm-hmm. I can understand that.
So for me, it's not about whether I'm necessarily pleasing people, although obviously as you get older, you just give less of a fuck, and that's just that.
Do you like being with a lot of people? I mean, I'm not talking sexually. I mean, do you like being in crowds?
I'm a total extrovert, but I also get overwhelmed by crowds. So it has to be the right number of groups. Basically, in terms of if I were a plant, I would not be a cactus. I would be an orchid. I was married to a cactus. You could put him anywhere. He didn't need anything: water, shade, sun, whatever. You could kick the pot over, he'd still survive. But I'm like, I have to have very specific climate controlled everything. And so the same goes with the number of people that I want to be around. How about you? Are you more about?
I used to think that I was very gregarious and that I could be with lots of people, but I have found that I'm more of an introvert. When I'm in crowds, when I'm in a lot of big, with a lot of people, I have to go home and be by myself.
Oh no, me too.
And I have
need
to
a big
heal.
recharge.
Yeah,
big
I have.
Recharge.
I mean, the night that I met her, we did the stock room, and then she came to the club on
And
that
we
evening.
don't have to go into that.
Oh, I'm not. But we
did something, and it was fun.
We had such an amazing time.
We did,
and we bonded, and it was really great to get to know her. And
likewise.
That's what true friends. When you meet somebody, you don't have to be in their face every single day.
I made a couple of really good friends that night. Actually, yeah.
It's an awesome place.
Fantastic people, just great people.
Any last remarks?
But you were going to say about that night, you needed to go home and recharge. Is that what you were leading to?
After that weekend, I needed to go home and recharge.
Right.
I mean, I didn't even go to DomCon this last month or this year. I normally go to DomCon. I just can't handle it. I'm okay being an introvert. I'm okay recharging my battery. But when you get with the people that are the vampires and all they do is suck out of you and they don't give you that time to recharge. I mean, I like to close my door and be alone and be off where I want to be off. Either I'm working on artwork again, trying to get my creativity going with my drawings.
Art's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. I haven't done it in a long time. That's what I'm going to be doing my whole thing on is my artwork. But any last thoughts? Because it's after 9.
My thoughts are that you should all read my shit, buy my shit, and come and see me do shit.
And once again, your website?
It's Malibu Mom.
And you're also on Twitter.
Yes, I'm on Twitter, Malibu Mom 1, and Instagram is the MILF Code, and
Facebook.
Facebook is just me, although I probably won't accept the friend request. I'll just let you follow me, because it's just too creepy otherwise.
Yeah.
I'm not really accepting requests anymore from people I don't know in real life.
Are we friends on Facebook?
Too much. I'm not sure, because I tried to link you. I think you have a private.
I have one under TSR or Melody _TSR. That's my BDSM, and then I have my private one.
Right.
So
that's why I couldn't find you, because I was looking under RevMel. I'm pretty sure we are connected that way, but it's a little too much access.
Yeah.
Basically is what.
But you can do me on my private one. It's all comedians. I don't post anything about TSR Network on that whatsoever.
Right, and if you want my phone number, just ask for it. Don't be fucking creepy on Facebook.
Her phone number is no, just joking. Well,
hilarious.
Do
I not have a long enough block callers list? We don't have to add to that.
We didn't get to any of your questions in the chat room, but that's okay because we were so involved. I thought this would be a really fun little show, just her and I together, just have two girls hanging out with their drinks,
with our waters and our memories.
and my green tea. I started green tea today.
It's good.
Yeah, I think I needed it. So
It's good. Antioxidants.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, shit. I'm exhausted.
I know.
Anyway, thanks for having me.
Thank
It
you
was
for
a
being on my
blast.
show. Thank you. And what we're
Thank
gonna
you.
since we don't have a board people, I'm gonna let her take her off. But I want to thank everyone for watching the show. And here at TSR Network, we are changing the world one vanilla at a time. And I'm going to be out of here. She's going to wind it up. And if she says anything bad about me, I have it on tape. I love you.
I love you too. Mwah. How can I say anything bad about you?
Me? You can always say something bad about me.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, if there was a flavor that I would be, if I'm not vanilla, I would say that I'm a strawberry. I'm a strawberry. Yeah, I'm a definite strawberry flavor because chocolate has some other connotations that may or may not be my thing. But I think we should just start a whole new category because I know you have
pomegranate chocolate.
You're a pomegranate chocolate, and I know there is such a thing as a vanilla swirl, and I would be a strawberry with pieces of something in it that may not even have been discovered yet.
I think a little bit of peaches.
You think a little peaches? I am
little bit of
obsessed with,
peaches.
oh my God, I just ate some kind of ridiculous peach that someone made at this barbecue, and I was like, who made this? Doesn't take much, folks. It does not take much. Thank you for having me. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.